Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. How's everybody on this nice Thursday? Good. Let's go ahead and rise for the pledge to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our inspirator today is Phil Russell. Are you ready to inspire us?
I am.
As soon as the music
Everyone.
yes. Thank you, Len.
We okay? Now we okay?
Yeah.
I was good myself, but I know the control panel has to unmute me as well. Morning and happy future for us all. I have a little inspiration here, two of them. The first one is a quote from Leonard I. Sweet. The future is not something we enter. The future is something we create. The second one is from an old philosopher. Live long and prosper.
Thank you, Phil. And that's really what it's all about today in regards to the theme. The future of AM Lockport. The future, what does it hold for us? Well, the immediate future is this is the last in-person meeting here until September 7th, which is sad, but we'll be online every week. So we will continue on. That could be more convenient for some, actually. Me, right at this point. Meaning me. I do have a meeting at 9 o'clock for the short-term future anyway. So I can actually get there in reasonable fashion, not to leave early. Today we have a number of things going on. Let's talk about announcements. Anybody has announcements from the floor before I say mine? Okay. Well, if you think of some later, we can throw you in. July 8th, we have the officers luncheon. Is it just officers, spouses too, or just officers? Yeah. There's no rules. There's no rules. We're wild. My wife was asking, so that's why I had to ask. Yes, she's like, can I come? I said, sure, I think, but I'll confirm. So in the end, we're going to be at the New York Beer Project. Eric organized that. Good job at noon. And then in the afternoon, I figure we'll be there a couple hours probably. And then we'll go see Indiana Jones, whoever wants to do that. So we'll figure out a time. That'll be fun. I will don the appropriate Indiana Jones garb so that I am theme appropriate. And that'll be fun. One does not necessarily mean you have to do the other. So the movie viewing is for anybody, not necessarily just officers. And the 27th, we have our picnic, certainly. Today, we will do a few things. We'll do the officers induction that are here anyway. And we will do some award presentations today. I am short in the agenda here a little bit to do a little housekeeping. We actually only have one speaker today, David Jones. Len is here, but he's was unable to, with his very busy life, get a speech together for us. And I do not see Les Robinson, unless he just popped in, which he did. Yay. So Les is here as well. So we have him. And Dave Licata did email me that he was going to be here for David Table Topics, but he is not here yet. So Beth is prepared to do so. And we probably have her do, okay, they're still fighting over it. So we have a competition for table topics today, so we'll find out. I don't think Beth is fighting too hard to hold the table topics role, but I will ask the table topics role holder, Dave, to probably do 5 questions for us today, because we can do it. And people can do multiple roles if necessary. So be prepared. I'm sure Dave has a little bit of time to do that. So what else does the future hold for the world? Well, that's a big mystery, right? How many people like futuristic shows, TV shows? Okay, we got a couple hands. Okay, all right. I started watching Strange New Worlds on Paramount of Star Trek. So yes, there is another series of Star Trek. No spoilers. I saw the first episode, so I can't even spoil it at all if I tried. So I love the futuristic kind of things like that. Often you see in these shows things that are kind of probably going to happen in the future, like communicators and whatnot. You know, wouldn't it be cool if they had a machine that could just scan your body and tell what's wrong with you, with your health, and things like that. So it's interesting that things like actually develop over time. Will we have flying cars in the future? That would be cool if we did, right? You know, the transport from here to Paris and just like that, wouldn't that be nice? Traveling would be so much easier. So we'll talk a little about future things that I have here that people predict will happen in the future. 2050, we'll say. So that'll be part of our theme today. So let's do the roll holders, then I'll go to do the officer induction after that. And then the award ceremony, that'll probably take up a slot for speaker. If somebody does want to do a hip pocket speech, I would be okay with that. You can just ponder on that and think.
I will be glad to.
Phil is the man. We do have an available evaluator, which is Steve Smith. So he will be evaluating the hip pocket speech, and he will evaluate it as he normally evaluates everything, since he has no information on this speech at all. Because he can handle it as a veteran Toastmaster. Thank you, Phil. So we'll put him on the agenda. Let's introduce a few of our roll holders today. Jackie, for the second week in a row, is our WAG master. I'm sure she was excited about that when she looked at the agenda.
Oh, yeah. Whatever.
Let's do it.
So WAG again. I'm not sure if that's because I did a bad job or because I did a good job. But at any rate, I will be listening for ahs and ums and pregnant pauses, etc., and noting them for a report. And your word of the day is prescient. Prescient. And it means having or showing knowledge of events before they take place. And I had to listen to the correct pronunciation about 5 times on my phone. Prescient. 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 Everybody use it this morning. Thank you, Mr. Toastman.
Thank you, Jackie. Try to use that as much as you can today, the word prescient. Our quote master is Katie Orr. Are you up for doing a quote today, Katie? She is back in here. I'd like to welcome her back as well. She says that she is not 100% back to herself, but she's on her way.
What do we turn down? This only or the whole jobber? There we go. I don't know if I knew that already and forgot or if I never knew. Good morning. It's so good to see everybody back again. I definitely wanted to get back here. I was grateful we could be here till the end of June, so I could. Lovely sunflowers, lovely muffins for those of you online. We have breakfast here. We miss you. Beautiful coffee. The place smells like coffee. I haven't been drinking coffee again. I have to get back into that soon, but no rush. For our quote today for this wonderful theme of the future, and let me comment, maybe I'm not stepping on your toes, Dr. Stevens, by saying, actually, some scientists today have developed inventions modeled after Star Trek and Star Wars because they were very inspired by what was done on those shows 50 years ago or 30 years ago, depending. Okay, the quote is by the Canadian-American author William Gibson, who's known by some as the father of the sci-fi genre cyberpunk, if you've ever heard of that. It's a little futuristic, and he said about 20 years ago, this resonated with me, kind of a bit prescient. The future is already here, it's just not evenly distributed. It's so true. Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster.
That was great. Love the thought-provoking quotes. Our gesture online is Nancy Ferry. Do you have a joke for us today, Nancy?
I do indeed. I had a crystal ball. I don't know if you know this or not. It helped me look like a prescient person. I could tell the fortunes. I could predict things. The only problem was all I could predict was cold weather, cold winters. It turns out that I went to this crystal ball shop and they sold me a snow globe. And I once received a birthday card from my sister, and inside it said, forget the past, forget about the future. You can't predict it. Forget about the present. I didn't get you one. Fortunately, she really did give me one. And I have one more. What do you call an overweight kidney doctor who can also predict the weather?
I don't know.
A meteorologist. I'll leave you with that silly one.
Thank you, Nancy.
Back to you.
That was good to have a little bit of humor in the morning. Our timer today is Tom Heldwine. Can you tell us your job duties for our guest, Mary, who I did not introduce yet, but she is here.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. This morning as timer, I will be timing table topics, formal speeches, and evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using a green, yellow, and red background. For table topics, the times for the cards are 1 minute green, 1:30 yellow. You should be wrapping it up. And at 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. There is a 15-second buffer for the speech and evaluation. There is a 30-second buffer. And the time for the speech today was, his time shown is 5 to 7 minutes. So the cards will come up at green at 5, yellow at 6, and red at 7. Evaluator, which is Marty, is green at 2, yellow at 2:30, and red at 3. That is non-prescient in the real world, actual physical time. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Very nice. Thank you. And our quizmaster, Les Robinson, your role, please.
Is take notes from the meeting, and then basically from there ask questions. And precedent is the word of the day or on there for knowledge. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Les. Hey, before we get into table topics, I'm going to do the officer installation and awards. I'm changing it up because you could do that. You're the Toastmaster. You don't necessarily have to go exactly in order. And it gives our table topics master time to formulate 5 questions as well. So first we have to have our outgoing officers come up. So Jill Roaring and Sylvia just walked out. Oh, okay. I did last meeting, but if you want to, no, I know I said I didn't say the names, so. Okay. Yes, so we to fill the time, we do have 3 new members. Kate did an amazing job even when she was ill. She recruited 3 people, which is awesome, to help us become President's Distinguished. So thank you, Kate, for that. And the members' names are just to my know, rejoining. Yes, I'll repeat it. Just. Yeah, Jessica and Jess Malloy and Grace Platt. So those are. Yes. So Jess Malloy apparently is in ECMC as well. So Always thoughts and prayers for those that are ill. Sylvia, yes, come on up. Yes, you are one of the outgoing officers. So what we will do is I will kind of read this little script here. One flower for each of you.
Thank you.
It's always fun with flowers today. Sounds like fun with flags, like Sheldon. Big Bang Theory, but more fun. Thank you for doing such a great job through the years as the officer roles you're doing. So Sylvia was treasurer in the past, but now she is the sergeant at arms. So thank you for coming in early. Thank you for organizing things. Thank you for organizing the YWCA for us, because that was helpful. Obviously you worked there and helped the club in the short term. And now we're here at the YM. We just changed the letter apparently and locations just to make it interesting and possibly confusing for others. And I just wanted to thank you from my heart for all the great work you did, and of course give you a flower there. So thank you so much, and stay up here for a second. 3 years. Jill Roaring was our vice president of public relations. Membership, thank you. They do mold together a little. So she's did a great job for us as well for a number of years. How many years was it? 2 years. So we appreciate all the hard work she did and trying to organize things for us to try to get members here and help with the schedule. And she didn't just do her role, she did other roles as well to be a good team player. So we appreciate that. So
Doing schedule if you need to.
you hear that, Nancy Ferry? You may have help for your VP of E role there coming up. You are discharged from all further duties and responsibilities as officers of the club. Oh, sorry, we also have Tom Heldwine online, who is our past president. I can't give you a flower, Tom, but thank you for all you did as president and as past president as well. You are, well, yes, you have a virtual flower for you, Tom. You are all discharged from all further duties and responsibilities of club officers. Round of applause, everybody. Just that easy. Yeah, you're discharged. They have all different scripts for these things. I picked the shortest one for your mercy. And our incoming officers. Kate Orr stepped up as the president here. Our repeating officer, Beth Banks, also will continue on as treasurer. Also continuing on, so that's why I didn't discharge you from your duties, is Carol Halstead. So you're all coming up here slowly, which is great. Online, we have Nancy Ferry, who will be our VP of E. And we have Les Robinson, who will be a vice president of public relations or membership. And Eric will be the continuing on also as the vice president of public relations. Thank you all for stepping up. Those that are here, flower, extras, you can have as well. And for our guests, they do have the roles kind of described here. I'll start with the vice president of public education, VPE, schedules our speeches, completes verification of projects. We have a bunch stacked up, so that should help Katie's term as coming here that aren't approved yet. So we'll wait till the official term starts after July 1st. And of course, you can always rely on us as well, other past members, the previous VPE as well, which was Kate. And also others that have done it, Len. We should actually bring our Zoom master, Len, up here as well. Come on, Len. Yes, we're giving Len a flower. We have lots of flowers. It's not an official Toastmasters role, the Zoom master, but that being said, I feel like he is an officer because he does do a lot of work, and he actually comes to the officers meeting as well. Vice President of Membership will promote the club, manage and bring in guests, work on the open houses. Vice President of Public Relations will interact with the community, And Eric is all over the social media, so he will do a great job with that, I'm sure, to try to promote. Our secretary will record things and do votes as needed in regards to sometimes elections and whatnot. And the treasurer will maintain our accounts. And she did a great job this year in regards to combining things. And Sergeant at Arms, who is not here, Mike Florio, he will come in early and once we're in person again and organize things. So he's got an easy job for the summer, I will say, and be helpful, get things ready for the meeting and maybe help out. So Len isn't doing both roles. And Len will be maintaining our Zoom and electronics, which will stay here while they're allowing us to store things here. So that helps. It doesn't have to fill Len's house. Okay. Raise your hand, please. Your right hand. Do you promise, as elected officers of the club, to serve your roles to the best of your ability? And say, I will.
I will.
Right, you're inducted. Round of applause, please. There will be pictures later, so don't leave. We could give that to the social media people. They could promote, right? And everybody in the audience will stand, please. Anybody who does not have a role, and everybody else could say too, will you support our officers for this incoming term? Say, I will. All right, the official induction is done. Congratulations. Made it short and sweet. I know they have versions that are ridiculously long and boring, so I avoided that. Yes, they have for sure. But it's not over yet. We have awards that we have to give out. Yes. I'll start off with some ribbons that I got from TI. It is a busy day. Our first ribbon is from Marty Johnston. Come on up, Marty. Who's talking today? Marty Johnston has an award. If you could come up. He has an award ribbon from TI for Innovative Planning Proficient. I believe he completed the project, correct? So here's his award. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very exciting. Congratulations. Online, we have Les Robinson. He achieved a ribbon here. It is level 3 achieved. Good job, Les. Round of applause. You can get that at any time. Level 2 achieved. Katie Orr does not have to come up. Round of applause. And myself, level 2 achieved as well. The treasurer, our club, got an award. We got 2 gift certificates for $50. So those will be coming to the treasurer. I know we can never cash these in, but we have a nice amount of them. So if we ever can cash them in, we have a lot. If we ever get things in order and they accept them. I did also want to say personal thanks to Beth for working through the treasurer role because there was a lot of frustration with that. She had to go back and forth to get the accounts in order, and it seemed like a 6-month process to get things in order, so to get people's names off and whatnot. So good job, Beth, with persistence.
One of the things that I have to look at, I think we have to do, in order to get the dues in before the price increase,
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to do it in July. So I wanted to. Oh, okay.
Okay. So those of you may not be aware that there is an actual increase coming from TI for dues. Is it 15 a person? So they'll will probably the incoming president and the officers have to discuss exactly how what we want to charge everybody. That hasn't been decided, but to get a discount, you can get the old rate by paying early for the next half of the year, which It is July, so I guess the same amount, just pay it early in the short term, but we may adjust the fees internally for the club. There was discussions about that, but that hasn't been decided yet. So I guess eventually soon you'll be seeing a collections a bill, we'll say, a bill on the email. TI also has these coins that they give out, and me and Kate got these coins, core value coins. Integrity, respect, servants as excellence. So I'm not gonna have Kate come up, but she got one of these coins. So congratulations, Kate. We were not, and I also got one. Thank you, thank you. We were nominated by some kind soul out there, which, yes, we have no idea who it is, but thank you, whoever did that. Probably someone on the upper levels. So those are some of the awards. There is more. Len Thornton, can you come up, please? I thought it was a apropos thing to do to actually get some awards developed. This doesn't have to happen on a regular, but if the next president wants to do it, that's okay. If she feels motivated, and I can give her the contact and the place where I got them done. So I got a very nice award here because Len has done so much for this club. He has helped find this place. He has literally built things in his living room in regards to getting things ready for tech. So I decided that and we talked a little bit amongst a few of the officers. I didn't want to give it away. The Unsung Hero Award for Len Thornton. Congratulations. Thank you very much. And as I said, there will be pictures later. If you want to say anything, you're welcome.
Thank you very much for the recognition of this. It is an honor to be able to use my talents developed over these 60 years to advance the capabilities and the function of our club through some challenging times over COVID and to switch to hybrid meetings. But it's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Eric Schneider, are you actually there? Eric, it might be working. I knew he couldn't come because I tried to cajole him to get here, but he did not.
I'm here.
There he is. Okay, he's made it. Yay, virtually anyway. So you are also a unsung hero in my mind for AM Lockport. Anytime there is anything that's needed, you are available. You will step up. Anytime that there is anything to put on social media, you are there way before any of us even think about it. So you're so quick with that. I know I tried to do some things myself to help out at one point for you, and it was already done. So it's like, apparently he does not need any extra help, but he has been doing this for years. So I feel like he deserves this Unsung Hero Award. I will give it to Kate or Beth, and you can get it from them, okay? And please take a picture and put it on social media.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And if I didn't thank anybody else, you're all awesome. And thank you for thank you for helping in any way you did, and even doing your roles with the club. Okay, enough of me, more of you. It is time for table topics. Dave Licata is waiting with bated breath to ask you some questions. You may be a candidate, Eric, so don't disappear.
Eric, this is the theme this morning is the future. The word of the day is prescient. Say prescient, Eric. Prescient. He's gone. Is he am I looking at a frozen frame. He stepped away. Ah. That's all right. Somebody else can have the Eric question. My father-in-law was an engineer at Bell Aerospace. We all remember, I kid myself. Some of us remember at halftime in the rock pile at Buffalo Bills games way back, late 60s. Bell Aero Systems would showcase their rocket pack, and a pilot would fly from one end zone to the other high above the field. And lately, our complaint, especially the boomers, where the hell is our rocket pack? What happened to that? Jill?
Me?
Eric's back? No, I didn't say Phil, I said Jill.
Oh, got bad hearing.
That's okay, I forgot my hearing aids too. It's okay, Phil. So we've been gypped out of the rocket pack. You can talk about being gypped out of the rocket pack, or you can be talking about something else that should have happened by now that didn't.
The rocket pack. Welcome, members, and Mary, our guest. And thank you, Dave, for asking me such a prescient question. The rocket pack seems like it would be such a great thing. But how are you going to carry your regular backpack? It's going to get burnt up by the rocket pack. Or you're going to fall over from all the weight. So maybe it's a good thing we don't have rocket packs, even if they never developed them to go farther than, what was it, 15 seconds or whatever? 30 seconds, Steve says. So they did a 30-second run for the end zone, apparently. Flying cars seems like a novel idea, but I can't see them. Can you imagine the accidents people be falling from the sky, in addition to rear endings and all the other things? Think of the lawyers' ads. Did you fall out of the sky? I can't think of a hurt in the car thing here. or hurt in the truck. I'm not going to say the finish of that one. Oh, well. Maybe it's good things that some things don't happen. Thank you, Mr. Licata, for this opportunity.
I'm so glad you brought up the flying car. Because our friend, Fred Flintstone was Ralph Cramden, I would guess that George Jetson was more Dick Van Dyke. And we have a brother member here, out of the goodness of his heart, took a position with the district. And Marty Johnson's going to bet, or I bet that Marty Johnson's going to wish that he had a flying car that folds into a briefcase, because they're going to run his derriere all over the district. Marty Johnson. Johnson, not Zimmerman, Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Topics Master. A fold-up car? very prescient of you, David, calling on me with knowing what I'm in for, what I'm getting into as Division C director. It's going to be very exciting, and who knows in our lifetime if we'll have flying vehicles, the way technology is going. I think it would be great to have a flying vehicle. Just imagine you could probably set your course. I don't know if you could eat in it or drink coffee. I'm going to be going to Rochester periodically to meet with some clubs and members, officers. I don't know if it'd be safe to eat, but it would probably be sort of enjoyable, almost like you're floating up in the clouds on an airplane and the stewardess comes by and asks you if you'd like a drink or if you'd like a snack. And I can imagine it would be a wonderful experience being able to relax. It could probably set your cruise control in your vehicle as you're traveling up in the clouds. You'd probably have to have some certain type of defense mechanism around your car so other planes and other vehicles that are coming around would know that you're in their space. That would be very interesting, and I wouldn't doubt that I just might have a dream, David. Now that you told me that question, I just might be filtering in my mind throughout the day, and I'm probably going to end up dreaming about that. But I'll let you know what I come up with. All right, David? Thank you, Mr. Topics Master.
Rub it in. All right. Mary just looked at me with great suspicion. Would you care to partake in? Okay. There's never any pressure to do it, Mary. But someday you're going to have to do it. When you're ready, dear, whenever you're ready. So Nancy Ferry on board. Nancy, come in, Nancy. The question is, we're talking about the future. So I want to know from Nancy Ferry, what is included in her near future? Not that far out.
Very interesting. My very, very near future will be sleep. Today I've been awake for 23 and a half hours. So I have some plans to take a nap when I get home. Then I am going to the airport in Rochester to pick my sister up. And we are going to go camping for the weekend together. I don't see her very often because she's from North Carolina. And she's coming up here to get a little bit cooler weather for the weekend. A little bit further out, I'm really not sure. I have some other aspirations. I like to sew and I like to do certain kinds of, I'm learning how to quilt. I'd like to spend some more time just playing and doing things that I enjoy. And with that, back to you, David.
Thank you so much. Well, I could make the argument that someone in this room has been given a new opportunity, a new start. So in light of that new start, I would like to invite a participant. This next participant can treat this kind of like a State of the Union, but maybe the state of the future for this club, Katie Orr. Oh yeah. Oh, you're not 100%, sit down. Deliver it from there. Oh, that's right, I forgot. Oh dear, I just read her lips, it wasn't pretty.
If I lean on the lectern, I'm better.
You'd be all right?
Can
I'm
you just
sorry.
stay with me here?
Yes, dear.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master, for this incredible opportunity to be prescient. I wrote it on my agenda that way, prescient. After I said it incorrectly, I believe, on my first round. I've heard it both ways. In any case, I am excited for this coming year. We have some new officers. I'm excited to get to know you all in different ways. I know that we've all known each other, many of us, for many years. But in the last few years, things have been different. And I think we've all gotten to know the new us's in different ways. Don't correct my grammar on that. But we're kind of new. We've had edgy times. I'm maybe not looking at you, sir. I've been edgy myself, and I'm really excited. The summer will be different being on Zoom only, but I think that gives a lot of opportunities. A lot of folks are traveling. Our attendance was never awesome in the summer, especially August. I'd be really thrilled if you can all attend in the summertime and we can see each other's faces on those Thursday mornings. It'll be a challenge, but boy, in September when we can be back in person again, how exciting is that going to be? And we'll be back here and celebrate together. And I love that our outgoing president, new immediate past president, Dr. Stevens, has so many things lined up. I wasn't really part of the social calendar for the summer too much. So it's exciting that we'll have our July 8th Saturday. So something going on in July so we can see each other in person again. And then our summer picnic in August so we can see each other in person again. I am excited for the trio that I brought in, as I kind of leveraged them as, well, I'm incoming president and I really have to do this as a project. And if the three of you can join together, and if we can do this before June, it counts for this year. So we really tied it up together. I appreciate your thoughts about Jessica Malloy. She's in the hospital probably a couple more days. We'll see them on Zoom, but they are all three busy moms and run their businesses. So we will see them sporadically, but I'm very excited that they'll be joining. And Mary soon, she whispered to me, we'll be getting that rolling soon. So hopefully in the summertime, since she's off from work. Thank you very much, Mr. Table Topics. I'm excited about this year.
Thank you for coming back.
I'm so glad to be back.
Steve, you're not speaking this morning, are you? You're evaluating. But, oh, really, Jack? Oh, Sylvia, I'm sorry. Once again, called upon to share his incredible amount of worthless knowledge. I should like to point out that the flip phone, the flip phone was based on Captain Kirk's communicator. They knew that that would help sell it. So that came from Star Trek. Now, what Dr. Stevens isn't telling you, he does have that thing he holds over the patients, and that's why he charges a little more, but it's worth it. Yes. So the flip phone came from Star Trek. And what else would you like to see from Star Trek? I would like to see that. What was she, number 6 of 9? What? 7 of 9, yes. I'm working on her to join. But here's our Jill of all trades, Sylvia.
Well, let me understand, David. You were asking me about the flip phone or something I would like to see in the future? Press.
That came from Star Trek, and if there's anything else that you would like to see.
Star Trek is not one of my biggest favorite things. My husband watches it all the time. He'll watch the old reruns if he could find them. He'll watch, I mean, one after another, and whatever channel that is, sci-fi channel, they'll have a run on it, a marathon, and he'll just go the whole day watching. And I'm saying, what the heck? But I did like your question regarding vehicles, flying vehicles. And I was just thinking, sitting over there, it's like, wow, we can't have flying vehicles. The airport is a mess now. Planes are delayed due to weather. What's going to happen if you have to go somewhere and you're going to be flying? the traffic up there, they say, is worse than on a throughway, which I find hard to believe after I drove in California for a while. It's like, are you kidding me? The sky traffic is worse. But they do think that will happen someday, and I just can't picture that in my lifetime. Hopefully it will happen. And get the people who are running the airports out of office so that it could be done right. But boy, it's a real big future dream of ours to be George Jetson and fly. Thank you, David, for this opportunity.
She did finish with a reference to George Jetson, and between Alexa and those little robot vacuum cleaners, I think pretty much the maid is here. Pretty close. What was her name? Rosie, exactly. Thank you. Because we have to mix in trivia when Dave's up here. It's important. Now, some more worthless information. At the Desilu Studios, where they shot Star Trek, they decided that each time they went down to a planet, if they had to shoot the shuttle landing on a different planet every time, that got very, very expensive. So instead they had the transporter room. And that was a move to save money in production of the series. And I don't know of anything more worthless than that. So I've outdone myself. All righty, time for the timer's report.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. All of our contestants today made time. Jill with 150, Marty with 152, Nancy with 109, Katie right at 2, and Sylvia at 139. I did learn that I needed to precedentally press the button at 2 seconds early so that it actually came up at the proper time. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. So, Jackie, what's the good word?
Well, question turned out to be a pretty good word. I heard it from Jill, Marty, Kate, and Sylvia, but not from Nancy, unless I missed it. So everyone else qualifies. Thank you.
When she first gave the word, I thought she said precious, and I said, yes, you are, Jackie. Our president and presiding officer and Toastmaster of the day, Dr. Gerald Stevens.
I did want to indicate as well that I will help Kate out until she's 100% in regards to the president's role. So when she lets me know that she is ready, I will turn the reins over to her. So she's officially the president. I am the past president, but I can assist. I do have some filler, but I will pass on that and save it for a little bit later in the meeting. So I want to introduce our evaluator. In this case, it'd be 2. And that is Marty Johnston, who will be evaluating David Jones. Coming up, Marty. If you could tell us what he will talk about today.
Thank you, Mr. President. And good morning, David. This morning, David will be speaking from Pathways Visionary Communications Path. His project is the Understanding Your Leadership Style project. Time 5 to 7 minutes. And the purpose for David this morning for his project is for him to identify his primary leadership style and to share some aspect of his primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. Mr. Toastmaster, you have the title? I have the title. The title of David's speech is my leadership values. David Jones. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you.
To you, David.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, and good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My project this week is the same as Thomas's last week. It's understanding your leadership style. And in order to figure that out, we go on to Toastmaster International's site. We answer 10 to 20 questions, and then it magically tells us who we are. It tells us what our leadership style is. Now, based on Thomas's comments last week, I think we're on the same page where we question that process. We've all lived different lives. We've all had different paths. We've had tragedies. We've had joys. We've had failures, successes. We've gone left when we should have went right. And the thought that 10 or 20 questions can tell us who we are, I don't think that's accurate. It's sort of like when you start a new job, an HR department wants you to take a personality test to see if you're a good fit for the company. I think those questions only say who you are at that very moment in time. It doesn't indicate who we were or who we're going to become. And even if you know your leadership style, it's very, you can't justify it as one item. How you lead on one situation is different than how you would lead on a different situation. How you lead on that one situation today is different than how you would have done it 6 months ago or how you would do it 6 months from now. So I don't believe that we have leadership styles. I believe that we have leadership values. And those values are what make us lead and manage in different ways in different scenarios. And my leadership value is the same as Toastmasters. It's service to others. It's giving back to others before yourself. Now that's worked for me in Toastmasters. It's worked for me in my company and other organizations I'm a part of. It was motivational speaker Zig Ziglar who said, you can get anything you want in life if you just help enough other people get what they want. And those values make me think about an individual named Xavier. Xavier was a guest at my club here at Queen City in Charlotte, and he was a working man. He would come directly from work to our club. He had dirty jeans, dirty shirt, dirt on his hands. Of course, he'd clean himself up before he sat down, but he would come every single week. He would do table topics, and he was a guest for maybe 6 or 7 weeks. We were all wondering, when is this guy going to join? But we didn't care. We wanted to support him. And even if he wasn't chosen for a table topics question, he was joyful. He would stay after the meeting and talk to everybody and help us clean up and put everything away. He wouldn't leave until the lights were off. As division director, I had to join one of our clubs one night, had to help support them. They had low energy and morale. So I asked some other division directors and some of my club members to come join the meeting, and it turned out to be successful. But Xavier showed up as well. Xavier, who was a guest at my club, came to another club to help support them and build them up. And as luck would have it, he was called on for a table topics question. Now, they didn't know he was a guest. They thought he was a member. And he got up, and the question was something like, what does Toastmasters leadership do for you? Or what does Toastmasters do for you? And he gave a great answer. It was an answer that you would expect from a 10-year Toastmaster veteran. Well, after the meeting, I talked to him and I said, how do you know so much about Toastmaster and the whole structure? And he said, well, I'm a truck driver. I drive an 18-wheeler all day. And all I do is I listen to Toastmaster International's podcast. I didn't even know we had a podcast, but that's what he listened to. He was all in on Toastmaster. He saw the value. He saw how it was going to help him move up in his company and also give him confidence and public speaking skills. And I said to him, I think you'd be a great member for our club. You've shown that you're very into it, and I want you to be a member. I'm going to sponsor you. I'm going to pay for your dues. And he said, thank you. And I'm a president of another club here in Charlotte. And I said, I think you should be a member of that, and I'm going to sponsor you there. So I'm paying for 2 of his memberships because I believed in him. I had a precedent of the vision of the outcome coming for him. And sure enough, he started coming every single week. He was doing all the roles. you would have thought he was Ralph Smedley, the way he was talking to guests and everybody that was at the meeting. He was just doing it all. And when the elections were about to come up for club officers, he said, you know, I want to be a part. I want to move up the corporate ladder with Toastmasters International. And I said, well, you could be sergeant of arms. And he said, sure, I'll do anything. And then the week before the meeting or the election, he came to me and he said, David, I can't be a club officer. He said there was an opportunity at my company and I applied for it. And I went in for an interview and there was a committee there and they were all asking me different questions. What about this? What about that? How would you handle this? How would you handle that? He said, I thought about tabletop. And I started answering the questions and I started directing the questions to the answers that I wanted to answer. And I got the job. And in 3 weeks, I have to move to Ohio. I'm not going to be a truck driver anymore. I'm going to be a branch manager. And to me, that made me feel like I got a great return on my investment. Not in the bank, but in here. And I think that's what we do here at Toastmasters. We see people that come in and we believe in them and we help them, we guide them, we coach them, and they just take off like birds. And that's exactly what happened to Xavier. Now, my challenge to you all is to do the same. Now, I know as Toastmasters, you all are servant leaders, but just always remember the feeling you get every time you see somebody come in and it's successful and you continue to help them out. That's my greatest joy as a leader at Toastmasters. Seeing that one person who can barely walk through the door come in and succeed. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, David. Our second evaluator is Steve Smith, and he'll be evaluating Phil Russell. Come on up, Steve. Tell us about, I think, what has been shared with you about Phil's speech.
Late breaking information. I've got some information about what Phil's going to talk about. Before I launch into that, I'd like to give a quote pertaining to today's theme by that noted psychic of the 50s, Griswold. Now, if you've ever seen the epic Plan 9 from Outer Space, it opens with his dissertation by Griswold, who was a noted psychic and claimed prescient powers at the time. And he very seriously looked into the camera in the audience. I know you're all concerned about the future because that's where you'll spend the rest of your lives. Yeah, that's. Oh, anyway, Phil is doing an L3 elective, innovative planning. Now, I don't know much about it, but I will listen and learn, as will we all. I do have the title, Lessons Learned Through My Life. Oh, by the way, 5 to 7 minutes, Mr. Timer. Lesson learned through my life, Phil Russell.
Floor is yours.
The future. My first future experience was with a black and white TV in 1950s. Buck Rogers, black and white. What a movie that was. What a series. Then the cartoon that's ingrained in my mind where that cartoon, the cannon shot off into space. And where did it end up? Bang! Right in the eye of the moon. What imagination. Now, interestingly enough, I went to Catholic school. And those nuns did nothing but prepare us for the future. Every day, you're going to get better. Then in high school, they were planning our future, trying to guide us which way we're going. Now we moved from nuns to the priests, and we even had one lady English teacher, Mrs. Banks. Now, what about the future after that? In college, we were living in a high-rise dorm. Tony was a friend of mine. We both played football. He was big, came from Binghamton, good football area. And Tony said, come on, let's go watch this movie. Everybody's down there watching. We went down there, it was all geeks. But what was on? Star Trek. Wow. It had a storyline. It was interesting. Tony explained to me that every one of these series has a story. It has a moral to the story. It is really cool. There you go. That's how I got hooked on Star Trek, because it was a real story. It wasn't a sitcom, which I like. I like most of the things that they put on that are, have educational values. Star Trek did. It had some very good ideas there. Now, the biggest thing that happened in my future was not to me, but to my son. You see, back when my son and I were at the house, we would play this Nintendo game. Get the thumbs going, things like it was a Star Wars. I like Star Wars too. He got into Star Wars, but he showed me how to fly the spacecraft. And we would go out killing Klingons and all these other, whatever was out there. I might have it all mixed up because Star Trek was the Klingons. And we would chase these guys down. Now, what was most interesting about our future? My son was on his first training mission in a plane. He was in a jet. The pilot up front, she goes, now you could take control, you could have control of the plane. So he was interested in that. He grabbed the controls. He goes to the pilot. This is very much like my Nintendo game. And she goes, yeah, you think we're dumb? That's what they do. It's like flying a computer. It was amazing. Then he spent 8 years flying the most expensive plane we have. And it was very interesting, all top secret. And to me, that is the value of the future. Because if you look at the future, you'll see that what can be done. Now, we have a great leader looking into the future with us, right here, right today, at Toastmasters, the prescient. He is looking into space and telling us what the future is, because the universe is out there. Answer me this. What's the end of the universe? Is there a wall out there? Or does it go on forever? Now, you want to look into the future. Look into those stars and just ask Steve Smith, because he will take you to the future. Mr.
Dave Licata said, way to butter up your evaluator. And he's not wrong. Nothing wrong with that. Great job, speakers. Just a quick announcement before I introduce the evaluators. Next week's Toastmaster, Michael Licata, speaker Tracy Farrell, speaker Jill Roaring, and Eric Schneider. Our first evaluator, Marty Johnston, are you ready? After a timers report, thank you. Timers report, Tom.
Thank you. Both of our speakers made it. David came in at 6:26, and Phil with the buffer it was okay at 4:53. He's only 7 seconds shy of the 5. Good job.
All right. Take a second to vote for your favorite speaker. And now I believe we're ready for our evaluators. Marty Johnson, are you ready? He is coming up.
Thank you, Dr. Stevens, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day, and David. What a wonderful speech. David, I liked a few things that you did. You did well. You did exceptionally well. You explained your speech project and why you decided that you basically threw the Toastmaster questionnaire with leadership style out the window, and you brought in Toastmaster values, and you told us what your Toastmaster values were: believing in others and service to others. And then you went into a wonderful quote by Zig Ziglar telling us how helping others and giving others comes back to you, sometimes twofold, sometimes tenfold, in my opinion. And I've experienced that as well. And then you led us in to a wonderful story. I believe the person's name was Xavier. And you painted the picture about this scruffy guy that came into your club. Turns out he was a truck driver, and he was very knowledgeable about Toastmasters. And my impression of the whole story was that you didn't prejudge him. And I'm thinking to myself, how many times have I prejudged someone? And then when you learn not to prejudge someone, how valuable that person becomes. And what a prime example was Xavier that you gave us. Turns out he was a very instrumental person and a very positive model in the clubs. And then he used the skills that he learned at your meetings to not only win an interview, but get a job and also get promoted. If there was anything that I would suggest you would work on, would possibly to do what I suggested, or what I did actually, with that questionnaire, you could show us the questionnaire that you did tell us about, and possibly as a jest to say, you know, I'd throw that out the window, and I'm bringing in what I feel works better for me in this speech project, was talking about my leadership values, and then lead into your story in that way. I think that would be something that you could try. And you had some good hand gestures. I would suggest continue using your hand gestures to challenge yourself. I know it would be a major challenge because we aren't going to be meeting in person again after today until September. But in September, wouldn't it be a wonderful challenge for David to come and visit us at Lockport at AM Lockport? That would be my major challenge to you, David. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. David, well done. Thank you very much. Harold.
Thank you, Marty. Our second evaluator, Steve Smith, are you ready? He is ready. Just so you know, for the sunflowers, there's some paper towels over there, and there's a sink. You can wet those towels and put them on there. Hopefully that'll make them live a little longer.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you, Bill. A very interesting speech. I'm reasonably sure all that at the end was just sucking up to me. And that's fine. I love it. But to answer your question first, as far as we know, there is no end to the universe. In fact, it is continually expanding and taking up more space. Now, in the beginning of his speech, he was talking about how he got introduced to the future through the old black and white TVs. And he mentioned a movie where you actually saw this bullet being shot into the eye of the moon. That was a 1914 epic called Journey to the Moon. It runs for about 12 minutes or so. And interesting thing, that was a very early attempt at coloring. And what they did then is they actually went in and painted each individual frame of the film to put color into it. There are still some existing copies of it with the color in it. Mostly you see it as an old black and white. But that was an interesting film, but that's kind of getting sidetracked. He was talking about the value of the future, how he got interested in it, how he sees things from the past that are now becoming fact, which we all have. But I have to give him credit. This was a hip pocket speech. He just kind of pulled this out of his back pocket. And he did a good job of it. He has enthusiasm. He knows how to mix humor with the speech. As he's usually kidding me about being an astrologer. But he talked about his journey into the future. And the only spot I can see for improvement, he was looking at the camera. He had nice vocal variety. If you can just find a way in this limited format to work in some more gestures. Obviously, you didn't have time to get props or anything like that. So any gestures you can do would just enhance the speech. Other than that, it was a good speech. I believe it was well delivered. And I thank him for stepping up to the plate to do this today. Mr. Toastmaster, where'd he go? Oh. Oh, good. I'm glad somebody knows what's going on. I don't. Okay. All right. Good.
Okay. May we have a timers report on the evaluators?
You may. Both of our evaluators made time. Marty at 2:55 and Steve at 2:15.
Okay, so now, yes, we can do the voting for that. And let's see, I think we will get to the roll holders reports. How about Jackie with her WAG report?
Thank you, Madam GE. All right. Everybody say prescient. Thank you. I did hear it from a few people. David Jones worked it into his speech. Steve Smith worked it in. And I'm also going to do my grammarian and master report, and I have very few notes because I got totally caught up in the meeting and didn't hear a lot of things that went on, although Marty had a couple of restarts, but he also used throw it out the window, and I thought that was very appropriate. And let's see, what else do I have here? Oh, Nancy used the word aspirations, always a good choice. And everybody else had rather good grammar this morning, so good work, everyone.
Let's see, I think the only other person is quiz master, but we could wait till the very end for that, so more questions may be formulated. I just wanted to mention the futuristic movie I enjoyed the most, I think, was The Time Machine. Especially when he's sitting in it and the window has been blown out because of the bombs, and you see the dress shop across the street, and it goes through the years of style. I think that was things. And I think our meeting, with all that we had to accomplish, did very well. Yes, David?
David Jones. That speech was worthy of an international trophy. You should enter that speech. You should win the whole thing. Incredible.
Yes, okay. Attention, David Jones. Dave Licata has just drawn our attention to the fact that your speech was international
worthy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I think the meeting flowed well for all that had to be accomplished. And our evaluators did a good sandwich approach with positive and little notes that could improve the speech. The only thing, Marty kind of talked a little bit more about the speech at first, but he still did a good evaluation of David. And also Steve gave the typical sandwich approach, and I know it's very difficult, especially Phil's a very seasoned speaker to find negative things. So let me see. I think the quiz master, who is Les Robinson, do you have questions for us?
Yes, I do. TV show that Gerald is now watching. Star Trek. What is Katie Banks looking forward to? Can you guys hear me?
What? New members coming in.
It's coffee. What was Marty Johnson's award? Innovative Planning Award. How many gift certificates did we get today that we are not able to use? Two, yes. What was Len and Eric's award? Correct. And
Unsung hero.
what did Dave tell Marty that he needs as his district job out in the Rochester area?
Flying car.
Got it. What happened to Dave Jones's member that he sponsored?
He got a promotion and moved.
Correct. And when Phil was at college, what show did he get hooked on by his friend?
Star Trek.
Yes. And who will take us to the future? You got it. That's the questions. Thank you. We're good.
Okay, I don't think we have any other reports. So I would like to announce the winners today. The best evaluator is Marty Johnson. Thank you, Carol. Okay, the best speaker is David Jones. And the best table topics is Kate Orr. There you go. And let's see. Is it the best speaker that usually draws here? Yeah, Dave. Jill, why don't you come up and draw? Okay.
Our winner is 345857. Oh my goodness. So. Well, any other announcements?
Sometime in the next day or two, you'll get an email. It will be for the next quarterly schedule. Do not read it and move on. Respond to it immediately. Because when we have to follow up on all the members who don't respond, it makes an incredible long project. Okay. As it is, there will be probably about 15 people that don't respond at all. They need to be called. I know that Jill's been discharged of her duties, but technically we're still in June here. And I would be willing to compile the spreadsheet if and only if somebody calls every member to get their sign off that they either don't want to be on the schedule at all, do want to be on limited, or whatever they want to be. But please respond to it ASAP as soon as you receive that. Thank you.
Well, have a good day, everybody. Our meeting is over.